everybody, this is Angela and Nick from Imagine Eating, and today we're going to show you how to make Toy Story-inspired cake pops.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a role reversal, because for our first few videos, it was me in front of the camera doing all the cooking, but this time it's you, Angela.
It's me doing the baking, and I'm not like a great baker, but this just seemed like a fun project to do. Here are our very abstract, there's Forky, our abstract Toy Story-inspired cake pops. And with the movie coming out, I'm really excited to show you guys how to make these for any parties you may have coming up. So we started with a box of cake mix. Store-bought is fine, and I got the Funfetti because that's my favorite from when I was a kid. And there's a little twist on this, which you add Jell-O to, and I'll show you that recipe later. So once you've baked your cake, you're going to break it up and put it into a bowl. And you're definitely going to get messy with this one, so make sure your hands are clean. Lots of crumbling is going to go on in this recipe.
When you said Jell-O, did you mean like Jell-O as in Jell-O or like Jell-O pudding?
Jell-O pudding. Good question.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So then you're going to take an icing. At first we used about a half a cup, but that made the batter too moist. So I would say start with 1/3 cup of icing and mix that into your cake mix.
Nice. This looks terrific right now. I would just eat this just as it is. Because everything's already cooked, right?
Yeah, everything's already cooked. And there you go. I'm offering you to lick the spatula there.
Yeah, I passed. I believe I passed on that one.
You did pass. And then you get messy with it, and you start combining all of it, and it looks really gross, but it's a lot of fun.
Playing with your food is always a good thing. Work with your hands. As long as they're clean, work with your hands. That's what I say.
I like it. So once you've got a good consistency, you should take something like a tablespoon measurer and use that to measure out your dough. There you go, I scooped it out there, and then you're going to form the bowls.
Bowls?
Bowls.
Gotcha. So basically you're just rolling these out and you're keeping them consistent because you're using a tablespoon measurement.
Exactly, and you want to like cup your hand as you roll them out.
Gotcha.
This makes about 16.
Alright, so we have all of the balls rolled out. Now we're gonna do what? Chill them?
Yeah, you chill them, and as you chill them, you get to work with your fondant. This is pre-colored fondant you can buy at a craft store. We're using pink here for some of the details on the Bo Peep cake pop.
Say that 5 times before.
I can't. You also want to make sure you just take a little piece of fondant and clean your work surface with it. And this stuff is like really sticky, a tacky consistency. You want to knead it and roll it before you shape it.
I feel like fondant is something that a lot of home cooks leave to professional bakers. How was it working with the fondant? What is it similar to?
It's really tricky. It's similar to working with taffy. Have you ever worked with taffy?
I have not. I only eat taffy. I've never worked with it, but I hear it does great work.
Yes. So it's actually really difficult to work with. It's not like a pasta, and sometimes it'll roll up. So what you want to do is take a mixture of cornstarch and powdered sugar and dust your work surface with it, and even dust the top of your, I was going to say taffy, the top of your fondant, and that'll make rolling it out easier. But it's very delicate. It's not like a pasta or a pizza dough at all.
It's interesting the way that it kind of takes to the texture of whatever you're rolling it out onto.
Yeah, so the top part is very smooth, the bottom part is very textured, because the mat I'm working on top of is textured.
So as you get into cutting out your shapes, what are you working off of here that you're showing the camera?
I created a stencil, and we have a link in the description if you guys want to use that stencil. So like for things like the bow for Bo Peep's hair, that's really helpful. And you also want to make sure you're using a sharp knife. You can use an X-Acto knife, you can use a knife specifically for fondant, but you want to make sure that it's sharp. For the strips and for other things where exact angles were needed, I found it was a lot easier to use like a pizza cutter or like cookie punch thingies. Cookie cutters?
Cookie cutters, yes. Cookie punch thingies. That'll be the thing that we make next. Make some cookie punch thingies.
It sounds delicious. I can't wait. So here I am trying to be fancy with the ball end of this knife. I don't know what it does. I have no clue, but I tried.
But you're molding out the bow here, right? Is that what you're doing?
Correct. Bo Peep's bow.
Gotcha. So this is a level of intricacy that I am just not capable of, so you're already doing a million times better than I would have here.
Why, thank you. So here I am using the pizza cutter, and we used a bunch of different colors. A cookie cutter, cookie punch thing. Make sure you dip that into the mixture, and that way it comes out, it doesn't stick to the fondant.
Yeah, it's also, as you're pushing that cookie cutter down, give it a little twist, and that will help get some of those shapes out a little bit better. See how you give it a little twist, and just like cutting out cookies, you can make your imprints.
And if you have no idea what we're making right now, I encourage you to refer to that document. Again, we have a link to it in the description below, but that'll tell you the basic shapes that you need and the colors that they need to be. All of these were already pre-colored fondants that I bought from my local craft store, and they were on sale, which is like bonus.
Absolutely.
I went crazy. I was like, fondant in every color!
Well, I think fondant's one of those things that a lot of home cooks are just intimidated by, but, you know, it is something that you can work with. It's another tool that you can have in the arsenal in the kitchen, and it allows you to be able to make some really creative stuff.
Absolutely. It takes a little bit of practice, but once you get that practice, it's really fun, and I think it'll impress your friends too. At least it impressed my friends, so...
So here you are cutting out, this is Bo Peep's cape, is that correct?
That's correct. And I had a little trouble here, my stencil stuck to the fondant. It kind of messed up the fondant a little bit, but I had some tools to help get the fondant nice and shiny again. For starters, I bought a kit. Again, super cheap, gotta love sales, right? I bought a kit and it came with a thing that smooths it out, but you can also take a piece of fondant and just roll it on top of your surface, and that'll help smooth it out as well.
Alright, so it looks like Bo Peep's cape has come together.
Yep, so after your cake pops are done chilling, it's time to melt them. We have white for Buzz and Forky, white and a little bit of blue for Bo Peep, white and more blue for Woody, and we'll tell you these ratios in the description below, and yellow for Woody's shirt.
Yeah, so it's interesting because the way all this comes together, you're working with these kind of candy melts that all have different colors, but there are color wheels and all these other charts that how you can use a few base colors to make other colors in different shades of certain colors. That's really, really interesting.
It definitely involves a certain level of artistry that I was not expecting.
Alright, so what are you doing right here? It looks like you're dipping into that melted candy and going into the cake pop.
Yep, so this is an optional step, but it's to help keep the stick inside the pop when you're dipping it in the candy melt later.
Because you don't want to have a situation where you're dipping it in the candy and it falls off.
Right. So after chilling in the refrigerator for so long, they got kind of flat, so I decided to shape them a little bit before dipping them in the candy melt to help give them that nice spherical, orbital shape. Is orbital a word? So you really want to stick it straight in. You don't want to swish it around at all. You'll see me do that in a little bit because I didn't melt enough candy. You also want to have a toothpick handy so that you can pop any air bubbles.
And with the candy being so thick, is there anything that you can do to kind of thin it out so it doesn't damage the structure of the cake pop?
Absolutely, that's a great question. You can use vegetable shortening. I know that they also sell these things called crystals that help thin it out, but vegetable shortening worked really well for this. So again, you just want to shape it. Most of the battle with cake pops is making sure that your dough is the right consistency, smoothness, and shape. You also might get cracks in your batter, and so what you want to do before dipping the whole thing is just take a toothpick, dip that in a little bit of the candy melt, and cover your cracks with it. Because if you don't, when the candy hardens, it will crack, and it'll really mess up your cake pop, guys.
Yeah, you'll end up with like a huge crack in your icing on that shell, that candy shell.
A crevasse, even.
Exactly. Candy Canyon.
The next ride at Disney World. Wait, is it already a ride?
It might be. It should be.
So this one had like a lot of cracks, but we covered them and it came out really, really nice. So yeah, here I didn't melt enough candy, so I just did a swirl very gently so that the cake pop wouldn't fall off. And then you tap it, and you tap it on the rim and twist it. Tap and twist.
What do you think is the biggest skill involved that you need to have for making cake pops?
Patience. This took a while. So here we are. For Woody, you want to double dip it. First you want to dip it in blue, and then you want to, after the blue has hardened, you want to dip it in yellow. I didn't cover the cracks on this cake pop, so it did get a chasm in that candy coating, so I'm covering it here. And then I'm only dipping the top half in that yellow for his shirt.
So you had a candy coating chasm.
Say that 5 times fast.
No, I won't.
Candy coating chasm, new band name, I called it.
Alright, so this is Woody's shirt, and we're going to give him a belt. These are very kind of abstract designs. Sometimes with cake pops, people want to do like full-on faces and all that stuff. I feel like that is a very dedicated level of artistry.
Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. I wish I could say that I'm just being like minimalist here, but honestly, ain't nobody got time for that.
Alright, so now you're going to add the finishing touches, which is putting the fondant onto the cake pops.
Yes. Fondant dries really quickly, as we learned from this project, so you want to make sure you work with it while it's still supple. But whenever you want to stick fondant onto something, or even onto other fondant, just wet it a little bit with a brush. This is Woody's belt. Can you tell?
Alright, so we got Woody's belt going on here. You're doing a good job applying that fondant there.
This also kind of looks like a minion, I realized afterwards, so hey, double purpose! Oh my god, I love it! If they make like a 5th Minions movie, you know where to go for your cake ideas.
Yeah.
This is one of the designs on Buzz's costume. Refer to that document I have in our description.
Alright, so these are more parts of Buzz's suit here that we're putting on. And again, like the abstract design, somewhat minimalist. It's cool. It definitely evokes like the spirit of these characters, I think.
Thank you, and I feel like kids are really good at picking up on colors and being like, hey, that color reminds me of this character.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they'll get it. Maybe. This is supposed to be like Buzz's helmet. And I got a little bit sloppy here. The one thing with fondant is mostly sugar. So when you get a little bit sloppy with the water, you're going to risk dissolving that fondant. So I took a lot of time to clean up my mess, basically. These are the circles that we punched out with the cookie cutter earlier.
So you're applying those circles to each other, and then you're going to put that on top of Buzz.
Correct.
So here's a question for you. I'm doing this kind of big, detailed project. How many times have you made cake pops before?
Including this time?
Yes.
2 times.
So this is your second shot at making cake pops. How many times have you worked with fondant?
Never.
So you have never worked with fondant ever before, which is really impressive because you're doing a great job here in this video.
Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun, and most of the fun too was it was the happy little mistakes, you know, to borrow a phrase from everyone's beloved painter. I made a lot of happy little accidents.
Yeah.
But that was part of the fun, and part of the fun of being in the kitchen whenever you're cooking something or baking something is figuring out, okay, this didn't go the way that I wanted, but how can I fix it? How can I make it better? And then learning to live with the result either way.
Right. Like, I feel like what you're doing here is something that people who are intimidated by working with fondant and candy melts and all that stuff, this is your first time working with that stuff. I think this will give people watching a sense of, you know what, I can do this. I can give this a shot. I can go to my local craft store, I can pick up this stuff, and I can try to make something really clever and creative.
I sure hope so. That would be great. Guys, if you end up doing that, please let us know in the comments. I would love to hear if you tried this out, if you tried making something similar, how did it go for you? Let us know.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to fit Bo Peep's cape on. And you can shape that however you like.
And we are going with the Toy Story 4 Bo Peep color palette, because she did have a slight change in character design.
That's true, we're going with Badass Bo Peep.
Nice.
I'm very excited. One thing you want to do when you're sticking fondant onto other fondant is just wet the surface on both pieces.
So it's kind of like making a gingerbread house in a way, where you would use like icing as like the kind of glue that holds stuff together, but here you can be using water.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's kind of the finished product of Bo Peep. Now, for my absolute favorite character.
Yeah, we're going with Forky here.
The thing that I'm using to make the little fork part of his head is more candy, believe it or not. Also from a craft store.
Yeah, so these are just putting those kind of plastic tines from the spork that is Forky.
He should be called Sporky.
He should be called Sporky.
Come on, Disney, get it together. By the way, I'm totally gonna tweet Tony Hale and ask him what he thinks of this.
So, does that take a while to dry, or like how long does that take to set?
It takes a few seconds, so I don't recommend putting it down or anything. You can see that some of these spikes fell a little bit, so.
Alright, so Forky has hair, or whatever that is.
I also found some candy eyes. I wanted to make my own, but I couldn't find any food-safe things to use for the pupils. So I found some candy eyes. They taste like Smarties, but bad.
Yeah.
So like Smarties.
Yeah, these are not delicious at all. Alright, so now we have kind of a Cyclops thing going on that will eventually become Forky. And I think when they see the finished product, our viewers will understand that this evokes the spirit of the character.
Absolutely. Really figuring out his eye positioning was probably the most difficult part of Sporky.
And it changes, too, in the trailer, so... Alright, now it's time to get those additional Forky touches.
Yep. His askew brow.
And this is some red icing?
More of that red candy coating. Now his mouth, which I don't know why his mouth is blue and his brow is red. I'm not gonna question it.
Upside down, he looks the same as he does right side up.
That's true. He looks a little less distraught upside down.
And here we go. Ah!
Ta-da!
Yes, that is perfect. Congratulations. You did an outstanding job with these.
Thank you.